Hi guys, so I'm here today with what I consider to be quite an exciting announcement, and that is the announcement of a booktube and just generally online feminist book club, which I have started but in no means claim as my own. I don't even think I would have been able to get this far without the help and discussion of all of my lovely booktube friends, and from here on out this book club belongs to all of us. So where shall I begin? I have so many things to cover in this video. I guess I'll just quickly talk about why I have decided to start a feminist book club on booktube. I mean, it's a whole host of things. It has partly to do with my own interest in reading more feminist non-fiction, in discussing social issues on my channel, and also my being absolutely fed up of the sexist and intolerant comments that I occasionally get on YouTube, on Twitter, elsewhere on social media, as do so many of my absolutely wonderful friends online. I know 99.9% of the people watching this video right now are not misogynistic. I finally just got sick of it. I think a compound of having recently read Everyday Sexism by Laura Bates, which really made me sick of how tolerant I am to the everyday sexism, and the last straw, which was somebody commenting on one of my videos about me banging my feminist drum and that somehow lessening the value of what I say in my videos. I decided it's time to start a feminist book club. I want to channel my frustration into something positive and something we can do together as a community, and somewhere where we can discuss feminist issues in a safe, tolerant environment. Now, I want to preface at this point and say feminism means equality of men and women in society. Please, before you leave any comments on this video or choose to get involved in the book club, set any prejudices you have aside, because perhaps you've come across a group of women that you don't like that call themselves feminists, or you've met a feminist who believes in matriarchy and the oppression of men. This is not what feminism is about, and it is not fair for anybody to redefine that word. Now that that's out of the way, we can get back to our feminist book club, which is in fact called the Feminist Orchestra Book Club. This name I have to thank Chelsea from the Reading Outlaw for. It is so perfect. Obviously it has stemmed from the comment banging my feminist drum. I love it because it brings everybody together and emphasises the fact that discussing women's rights and sexism and all of the other issues that can intersect with feminism is not about making pointless noise, but is about creating music together and improving the world. So I love this name. I love Chelsea for coming up with it. Now, some of you probably already know about the book club because of Goodreads. I did set up a Goodreads group just to make things easier. I know not everybody has a blog or a YouTube channel where they can post reviews and discussions. So having a Goodreads group is a way for people to talk about what they thought of the books we've read each month and recommend books to one another, ask questions about the books, etc, etc. So I'll link the Goodreads group down below. But I would encourage and love for all of you to make videos and write blog posts for the books that we read. So every month I will be uploading a book review and a book discussion of the book we read for the book club, and perhaps even video responses to stuff other people have filmed and written, which would be so much fun. So I would love if you guys would do that as well, so I think that we will really get a wider community involved. Oh, it's moments like this I miss video responses. Fear not, there may not be the video response option on YouTube anymore, but there will be a hashtag which will help us find each other and talk about things on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. So the hashtag is #FeministOrchestra. But I guess if you've stuck around this long, you're probably wondering how the group's going to function. Well, like I might have mentioned, we're going to be reading one book every month. There are some months where I have plans to have 2 books in that month, and that's maybe just because one of the books is maybe a poetry collection or a graphic novel, much shorter format things that don't really take a lot of time to read, and I think it would just be a better use of our time if there was 2 things in there. Most of the time it'll be a book a month. At the beginning of each month, I'll make sure to announce the book on Goodreads and Twitter and Instagram and on my channel. There will also be a sort of pre-planned list on the Goodreads group as well. So at the moment, I have the first 6 months planned. I haven't announced it yet, but I do have the first 6 months planned just to make things easier. I wanted to make sure the first 6 books were accessible and covered a good variety of topics, and also kind of did a good job of introducing feminism. There is also a Listopia list that you can look at even if you're not a Goodreads member on Goodreads, which is just a massive list that I started. I think I added like 20 odd books to it, and since then it's reached almost 100 and maybe over 100 now of just feminist literature, fiction, non-fiction, poetry, short story collections, graphic novels of stuff people have added. So that's really fantastic and hopefully a really useful resource for the group in general, and also just for you as individuals looking for more books to read that might deal with feminist issues. And that is to add as well, if you haven't gathered so far, I'm going to cover everything. I don't want to just do fiction or just do non-fiction. We're going to do a variety. And I will be announcing the first 6 months books in a separate video where I also do a small giveaway of some of the books that are going to be in the first 6 months of the book club. Now, of course, I realise that there are plenty of other online feminist book clubs. Emma Watson recently started one. This is certainly not about competing with other feminist book clubs, but I think despite that, a lot of us still aren't necessarily involved in feminist book clubs or actively reading literature that deals with feminist issues. And I really do mean all areas of feminist issues, and I really do want to cover everything throughout the time we're reading. Obviously it'll be difficult in the first 6 books I've picked to cover everything, but I hope I've picked a reasonably diverse selection. And that's why it's also really important for you to add more books to the Goodreads group list, because you might know of some really excellent books that aren't already on there. But I hope you will all take part. Of course you don't have to read every single book every single month, but whether you just want to pop in every few months or you want to take part every single month, it will be amazing to have you, and I look forward to being part of this book club with you. One last point which I did mean to make is that I want this to be a very accessible and inclusive group. Whether you have never thought much about feminism, have done an entire PhD on feminism, I want you to be able to take part. So that means all questions are welcome, nobody is stupid, please don't be condescending to anybody. On the other side of things, abuse and intolerance and hate speech of any kind to any group of people will not be tolerated. And I don't just mean sexist hate speech, nor will intentionally sexist or offensive comments be tolerated. And if you do say something that people find offensive or sexist and you're corrected on it, hopefully in a constructive way, I hope you will then accept that what you said was offensive or sexist, and we can all kind of learn from one another. Again, no abuse, no intolerance, no hate. I will remove all of these things if I see it, and that's on my videos and the Goodreads groups, and I hope the other moderators will do as well. I imagine they will. And no, that is not censorship. Deleting hate speech, abuse and intolerance is not censorship, especially if it is on my channel or a group I've created on Goodreads. As much as I don't want you to, you're entitled to say whatever you want. That does not mean I have to host it. If you still think that deleting hate and abuse online is censorship, I'm going to link a really good video down below that you should go and watch before you say anything else. But yes, I think I've covered everything I needed to cover in this video. I have been filming for over 22 minutes, so hopefully I can cut this down to slightly more reasonable length. I thought this video was going to be really quick, but apparently not. Like I said, I'll be announcing the reading list in a couple of days, and we will be reading our first book in March in honour of International Women's Day, which is on the 8th of March, if you didn't know. So I hope I will see you all then, and until next time guys, happy reading, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye!